Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot and welcome to our full moon reading. So, this month we have a full moon that's coming to you in Taurus, and it's another super moon. So, it's our second super moon, and we're here to see just kind of what it brings. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into it now. This one is it's going to be a general reading for this collective, but it's for everybody. So sometimes with the series, we get to pick and choose kind of the messaging. This one, any kind of messaging could come through. It really is for everybody. And so if it is everybody within this collective, so if it resonates with you, you may want to take a look at some of the other videos. Also, if you subscribe, just remember to hit notify so the videos will actually show up for you. We're going to go ahead and get started with an oracle card. So I will be reading for you with let's see, I've got the Baroque Tarot, and then let me get the name right. The Spirit Song Tarot. I always worry that I'm going to mess this one up. And then we've got the Moonology Oracle that I'm going to start with here for you. So this is an overall message. I like using this deck when we have a new moon or a full moon, but we know any kind of card could come out. It doesn't have to be the full moon in Taurus. Although a few months ago, we did have exactly that. The moon that was out, we had that card come through, and kind of knew it before it happened. So we have the new moon eclipse. This is about expecting powerful change, which actually doesn't surprise me completely. So the meditations that I have done already around this moon tell me that it's got that Taurus groundedness, but it also has that potential for powerful change. So this tells you to expect powerful change. Let's look to see what else this moon brings besides powerful change, and yet that sense of groundedness that comes from Taurus. So we've got a Knight of Crystals, an Eight of Crystals. Both of those are earth energy. And then a Ten of Shells. There's a little bit of water energy. So let's take a look to see what this is. So Knight of Crystals is going to be kind of that steady, earthy energy that you feel like you can trust. This is a sense of determination. It's something being consistent. It is things turning out kind of the way that you might expect, but you will have to expect the change also. Eight of Crystals is about mastery. It's about dedication to something, dedication to a craft, dedication to a skill set. You get better at something when you practice. And then the Ten of Shells is really talking about kind of that. This is an overall sense of appreciation and well-being. Okay, so it's kind of it's got a very be here now kind of feel to it. There's a lot of presence, and honestly, that is something that I would also say is consistent with the meditations that I've had. There is a very present, very be here now sort of feel to this moon. And it's a feeling of being able to almost, I talk about slowing down time and really just being able to appreciate things, even when, so the slowing down time concept comes from when you're in the middle of like hurting yourself or falling or getting into an accident and everything slows down and becomes, it almost seems like it's moving in slow motion. So through meditation, it is possible to learn how to kind of do that intentionally. And this feels like doing it. I don't know how intentionally it is. I think the energy is just really good for it. There is an Eight of Swords here. So there's a potential for overthinking that comes right along with it. And a Three of Cups, which is essentially it feels like you watching something socially that is occurring and maybe isn't happening to you, but it's happening in front of you. You watch it unfold, and you may this may be that opportunity for you to jump in and say something that we've been hearing about. Let's see here. Yeah, we keep hearing about something where you've got to come out of hermit mode, say your piece, and then you're welcome to go back in if you want to. Temperance card here in the reverse. Strong sense of something that hasn't landed. It's not quite in its place of balance yet. Hasn't landed. Oh, hold on, but the rules have changed. So the Devil card in the reverse, I especially can appreciate this one. When we see the Devil card in the reverse, oftentimes what it means is some kind of limitation has fallen away. And this is no exception. So some kind of limitation has fallen away. And so even though things haven't really settled into space yet, there's a sense of comfort that comes with this because it feels like it's maybe heading in the right direction or a right direction. You feel good about the things that aren't settled yet. Or it's something that you're going to feel good about what isn't settled yet. Definitely slow and steady movement into a positive place. So this is moving toward happiness and understanding what that means. So some of these powerful changes that are coming about are going to move you to a place that you feel more confident about, or at least happier about. I don't know that I totally see the confidence here. I see a lot of things detracting from your confidence. I don't see necessarily a lack of confidence. Let me see what I just dropped. Okay. Yeah, this Two of Pentacles and this Temperance card in the reverse, both of them give me the sense of something that could take away from your confidence. So does this Eight of Swords. But I don't know if it's really happening. So I won't say that you lack confidence or that this is the sort of energy that creates a lack of confidence. But I will say it is not obvious to me that there is a ton. It feels more steady, slow and steady, not making a bunch of noise about anything, not heavy ego. This is not heavy ego energy. Let's see what this means for you, particularly as it goes associated with relationships, and see how that looks. Two of Crystals in the reverse. That is imbalance, seeing the human side of someone. Five of Crystals. All of this is very earthy. The people having the dreams about the Divine Masculine, and the Divine Masculine either seems hidden or to be in some sort of disguise, or shows up slightly differently than you expect. This is part of the connection. You know, if I'm honest, it's part of the connection that we saw and I felt yesterday when we did the Divine Masculine deep dive. There's a sense of calling out to you, and remember there was that deep feeling of like there's something about them it's more attractive to you than usual. It's shinier than usual. And we looked into that yesterday, why that was, what's happening in their heart about you. And that's kind of what I think is showing up in these dreams. And the reason I brought that up is because this is incredibly earthy, 3D sort of energy, but it is heavily reliant upon what you're both feeling out of some dream energy. So, let's see here. Missing perspective, missing opportunity, something that feels like it is missing. Let me see what I dropped. Okay. So there is a sense of discombobulation, or not quite being organized or balanced. That's a definite lack of balance with the Two of Crystals. The Five of Crystals in the reverse feels a little bit like this is that human side. This is understanding and being able to handle and be that human side. So it is possible that you are observing them making a shift that is, we know it is a slow, steady energy. And the shift that you're seeing is a slow, steady shift. But I think that you're going to start to see some things that really encourage you. And the trick is going to be for you to be able to see it from a different perspective, so that you don't like misinterpret it as being farther along than it actually is. Yes, there's still a trip that has to be taken. This is the Eight of Cups, and it feels like a return to something, but it's a return to something earlier on the path. And I dropped another card. Okay. Okay, and then we've got the Strength card coming in the reverse. Strength card in the reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. So remember, we have that Eight of Pentacles, or that Eight of Energy, or Eight of Earth energy come in over here as a sense of mastery. This is a great time to get better at something, mastery of a skill set, mastery of a skill, or something that is very specific. And what I see over here is sort of a resistance to that, and a fear. This is that same sense that I saw again in that Divine Masculine deep dive. The Strength card came out. This happened in both the first reading and the second reading, the extended reading. We had that Strength card come out in the reverse, talking about fears that are winning out, but it is temporary, okay? So it's temporary, but they've got a long way to go. What you are seeing, though, is sort of, if you are there for it, if you're able to see it, if you're at close range, is a shift in perspective for them. You're seeing, like, we've got this Hanged Man over here in the reverse saying that they need to have a different perspective. You may get to see that transpire because of some of what they're experiencing right now. And so that's kind of what this energy means for you. It gives you a little bit more of a window into them at this time. So definitely the feeling that comes through most strongly for me here is the being here now, that sense of self and being in the now, that sense of presence. But it's also being able to witness this person. Now remember, that's the wording that came out, the sense of needing a witness is what came out in the new soulmate energy. We also know that in some cases we've got this divine masculine that's bridging over into that new soulmate energy, and so they're becoming very much one and the same. So that's happening for some of you, not all. Some of you are interacting with somebody who's different from your past or somebody entirely new. But for those of you where the divine masculine is the one that is transitioning over into that new soulmate energy, this is where we start to see that. This is trying to find their footing. It's like they're trying to climb down out of something and they're trying to find the place where they're going to put their foot, but it's a blind reach. The Hierophant in the reverse, not only is it a blind reach, but they're not able to find anyone that they trust. Not necessarily that they just can't find anybody, but they can't find anybody that they trust to be able to give them advice for their situation, and they are reluctant to say too much of anyone anyway. So there is a strong sense of standoffishness, wanting to kind of handle this themselves. We also have the sense of no plan, which, as we know, can be that can be a good thing, or it can be kind of a challenge. You're somebody who benefits from having a plan, or would benefit in this energy and have a plan, because they lack some of that confidence that would allow them to navigate without one. But they don't really, this isn't the energy of them putting together a plan. So as we've seen recently, you are disinclined to take less than you're worth. You could have a little bit of a disconnection with this person, or you could decide to go kind of into the challenge. So another thing that we've seen in these readings often here lately is a sense of you needing to watch for things that trigger you, and then sort of allow that triggering to occur and see where it takes you. So here is the card of allowing that triggering to occur and seeing where it takes you. So I think this is going to be kind of an interesting time if you allow that to happen with this person. But I wouldn't work to make it happen, so it doesn't feel like this is somebody where you need to track them down so that you can work on it. It is if you happen to be able to interact with them, or if it goes beyond that dream state. So right now we've got folks that are connecting through the dream state. And so this isn't emails that I got. This is something that just came out in a reading. Oftentimes when I get the dream questions that come in, it's because so many of you emailed me that I couldn't help but ask the question. In this case, it's not coming in through the emails. It's really just coming in through the cards. So we've got the Chariot, something starting to actually move between the two of you. And this may be after quite a bit of a delay, to the point where they're not quite sure what they're going to get when they find you. There is a reluctance actually to cross the bridge. So it feels a little bit like some of the actions you might see are not entirely dissimilar from what we were seeing in the Divine Masculine deep dive yesterday. Because I had kind of asked, all right, so what are you likely to see from this person? Like, what are they likely to do as far as a behavior? Because we could see that they could come your direction, they could not come your direction. Many of them you're in some sort of no contact or insufficient contact. And we did a no contact reading, but this one is specifically looking in there, what are they going to do? And it felt like they might want to get social in some way. Something about there was something about sleeping pills to help them get by. I thought that was kind of interesting, but it is reflective also of this reluctance to go across this bridge. So they feel like that bond allows them to kind of lay claim to you in some way, the bond that they feel for you, but they have to practically figure out how to put that into words, and that's where some of it breaks down and they lose their nerve. Okay, so there is potentially some activity that comes in from them at this time, which I don't think I was specifically looking at. But we do have that grounded Taurus energy meeting the energy of potentially sudden change and these impulsive urges. So I was going to ask just for the advice specifically. I'd like to dig in a little bit more, and I want to get advice for you also, but I want to dig in specifically to these impulsive urges and what's the nature of them. So I wasn't specifically looking for that, but it seems like it wants to come out. So what's the nature of the impulsive urges? What can you expect from that? The Magician, somebody who's, yeah, this is I'm not sure it's bad, so I don't want to say watch out because that feels really dramatic and I don't know that there's a problem. But this is somebody who has a lot of oomph behind their actions, a lot of potential for doing things a little differently than what they've done before. So it could be a watch out. You've got the High Priestess. This is actually having intuition and consideration on their side. So if this is somebody you're having a dream connection with, they may have initiated it somehow, and they may be responsible for the fact that they don't look the same in their dream as they do in your dream as they do under normal circumstances. You also have this Two of Feathers, decision. There's finally a decision time or something that has to be done. We know this person's kicking the can down the road about a decision, not actively doing something that needs an active approach. This could be the beginning of that active approach because all of a sudden we see them being a little bit better connected. So this behavior out of them, this impulsive urge out of them may be backed by energy that comes from a long-standing decision, something that just kind of hasn't been done yet. Well, let's see what I dropped now. Sometimes I get through an entire reading and I never drop a single card. And then, that's just maybe not always. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, so it's not smooth sailing for this person. They don't just come in, sweep you off your feet, make sense out of things. They are moving towards some sort of balance, and they are satisfying what feels like a destiny to them. That is so much different. This is the Star. This is where they're satisfying something that feels like a destiny. And this is so much different from what they have historically been doing, which has been very controlling, very trying to make things go a certain way so that they could be in control. That's a very different, and it's a very different way to engage than what we're seeing now. With the Justice card, this does look like they've definitely done some learning and changing. They've definitely done some learning and changing, but the question that I would ask is how much? Because we know that if this person comes to you, that they may make a mistake on their way in and not ever make it to you. They may get halfway through it and balk. Five of Pentacles in the reverse. They are recognizing how far they've come. Okay, so they're recognizing how far they've come, which is actually going to be, I was curious about their confidence over here because I don't know that I'm feeling a ton of confidence from anybody, but I think I'm feeling, okay, but you earned it. It's an earned, quiet confidence, time to start something new. Here's the thing. Are they, though? Are they ready to start something new? Because this feels like they are not trying to dangle something in front of you that just for the purpose of dangling something in front of you. It doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. And yet, I can't really tell if they've got it in them to do what they're putting in front of you at this point. I don't know if I think their intentions are positive. Yeah, the change is very difficult. The change itself is very difficult. So we see impulsive urges. We may see them making plans with you, coming up with ideas. But this is where they make the exciting ideas. They come up with the plans, and but they're kind of just coming up at the time that they're talking, and they don't have the same kind of staying power. So the next time when you bring it up and you say, hey, you said maybe we would do this, they won't remember it, or they kind of were just saying things, just putting stuff out there. It's got a little bit of a different interpretation feel to it because they balk at their own progress. So that is something that we also were kind of seeing in a potential for in that divine masculine deep dive. So if you haven't seen that one, you may want to go back and see that one. There's a lot of potential for change, openness. There's that appreciation, that sense of presence, that sense of being here now. But it is also potential for impulsive urges and significant quick change. So it's an interesting time around this moon. I knew when I was doing the reading yesterday that we might be pulling in some of that full moon energy. And so I think it'll be interesting to see. I might want to, depending on what kind of questions come in for the Thursday members reading, we might dig a little bit deeper into some of this. So the Thursday, on Thursdays at noon, my time, so I'm in like the Chicago time zone in the US. And so on Thursdays at noon, my time, I grab all of the member questions and I do a reading. And so it's some of the questions are about the big picture, like all of you, and then some of them are individual questions. And so I will do like this for a regular question, but for the individuals I pull a card or two. So I usually have a handful or so of questions that that make it to me in time, and I'll do that reading Thursday at noon. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, let me know if you happen to be a member. And of course, there's time to sign up, different tiers. You can see all the information at the links down below. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. My email is also down there. So anyway, I will go ahead and wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to a new kind of energy from this person. It really kind of feels like we've been watching it come in and now here, maybe a little bit of unveiling of it. So be curious to see how this is playing out for you. Okay, thank you. Love you guys. See you in the next reading.